Trump is getting on his high horse, and it's pretty funny. Chuck Schumer's also getting on a high horse, but that's going to backfire. The war in Venezuela, that is escalating, and I'm going to cover the comment section today. All this and more, and Peter's political perspective. As you all know, the Epstein files have dropped, well, at least some of them, and they're continuing to drop as the government continues to redact them and release them, which is understandable. There's a lot of files, but obviously Epstein's a lowlife, right? So what's interesting is that as soon as the Epstein files drop, a lot of people are getting on their high horses and they're like, oh, I'm so high and mighty, I'm so integrity and have so much justice and righteousness spirit in me that I would never associate with Epstein. Not only that, but I will make sure all those files get released. And it's funny because Trump's doing this and Schumer's doing this, but the only one who actually deserves to be on a high horse is Trump. So let's first look at Trump's high horse moment here, and then let's look at Schumer's in comparison, because it's quite pathetic, his. So to be clear here, Trump is in the Epstein files as a defender of the victims and as someone who was going after the predators. That's his only relationship. And as soon as he found out how bad Epstein was, he cut his relationship off with him. I know everyone's been saying that, but literally Trump's the one to do it. So this is the post he said. Merry Christmas to all, including the many sleazebags who loved Jeffrey Epstein, gave bundles of money, went to his island, attended his parties, and thought he was the greatest guy on earth, only to drop him like a dog when things got too hot. Falsely claiming he had nothing to do with him, didn't know him, said he was a disgusting person, then blame, of course, President J. Trump, who was actually the only one who did drop Epstein long before it became fashionable to do so. And when their names get brought out in the ongoing radical left witch hunt, plus one life, low-life Republican Massey, he's the worst. It is revealed that they are Democrats all. There will be a lot of explaining to do. There will be so much to talk about. And none of it has to do with Trump. The failing New York Times, among many other things, was forced to apologize for their bad and faulty election reporting, even to the point of losing many subscribers to their highly inaccurate, fake coverage. Now the same losers are at it again. Only this time, so many of their friends, mostly innocent, will be badly hurt and reputationally tarnished. But sadly, that's the way it is in the world of corrupt Democrat politics. Enjoy what may be your last Merry Christmas. President J. Trump, thanks for your attention to this matter. Oh my gosh, I'm not sure how good that Trump impression was, but I'll try to improve that. Might also have some kitty noise in the background, but so basically he's saying here is, I'm the one exposing Epstein. By the way, on top of that, although they were the ones, the Democrats who were all involved in Epstein, they're projecting and saying that I was the one who was involved in all the dark stuff. This is what Trump's saying. And Trump is saying, literally, this is ridiculous. I was the only one to cut him off. The only one to go against him. The only one who was like an informant trying to get this guy taken down. Trump was the only one. So he's the only one who can get on a high horse and like stay on a high horse and deserves to be on that high horse. He's the only politician, literally the only politician that went after Epstein. He's the only politician who's released Epstein files. So he is literally the only, not only he's not involved in any bad Epstein stuff, but he's exposing the Epstein corruption. So he is literally by far the only politician that can get on a high horse on this subject. But of course, Chuck Schumer wants to get on a high horse as well. I'm going to turn Grok on in a second. Hopefully he stops interrupting me. I'd like to hear his thought on this. But what did Chuck Schumer do? Chuck Schumer's like, I'm announcing we're going to, pass this resolution in the Senate to force consequences on the Department of Justice because they are not following the Epstein Transparency Act and they're not releasing everything like we said. This high horse is hilarious because if and when the government releases all the Epstein docs, Chuck Schumer is going to be in there. He's going to be in there. But he's calling it a cover-up right now. So the Democrats' angle is right now is that as the files come out, they'll say Trump's not in it, but we are. So it's a cover up. Obviously, he messed with the files, yada yada, because he's not in there, and we knew he should be in there in a bad way, and we're in there, so he obviously put us in there, yada yada. This is their strategy, and Chuck Schumer's getting a high horse, position himself for that stance when he ends up being in the Epstein list, which he will likely. I mean, he got $10,000 donation from Epstein as a congressman, right? And when he gets totally exposed to being Epstein files, he's going to be like, well, that doesn't make any sense because I was literally the person leading the charge to release all the files. I passed a resolution in the Senate to go after Department of Justice because I really wanted these files out. Why would I want files out that would incriminate me? I wouldn't. That's proof that this is actually something else, that this is them going after me when I'm innocent.
Here's the deal, Peter. Yeah, this Epstein mess is blowing up again right now. Literally this week in late December 2025. The DOJ just dumped thousands more pages. Trump's name pops up a bunch. Mostly old flight logs from the 90s, some with his kid or ex. Nothing charging him with crimes, but the White House is yelling that a lot of it's fake or old election smears. Trump did ban Epstein from Mar-a-Lago years ago after he creeped on a teenage girl there. And his first administration is the one that nailed Epstein in 2019 and later Maxwell. So he's got a point that he wasn't protecting the guy. On Schumer, yeah, Epstein did donate to him back in the 90s and early 2000s. Small amounts, like a couple grand here and there, total under $25K over the years. And Schumer gave it all to anti-trafficking charities when the scandal hit in 2019. Tons of politicians on both sides took Epstein cash back then. Schumer's pushing hard right now for a Senate resolution to sue the Trump DOJ for dragging their feet on the full release. Says they're redacting too much and found another 1 million pages they're slow walking. Trump's firing back, calling it a Democrat hoax to distract. Bottom line, neither side looks spotless from the old Palm Beach party days, but no smoking gun on Trump wrongdoing in these drops. And Schumer's got receipts he ditched the money ages ago. Whole thing smells like politics weaponizing a dead pedo's Rolodex. What a circus. Your take?
Yeah, I mean, I just think that it's cringy that here Trump is rightfully getting on a high horse because he's been going after this guy and, getting him in trouble and releasing the files. He's the only one who can be on a moral high ground here. Of all the politicians, the only one who's got the high ground to be on a high horse. And here's Chuck Schumer trying to get on a high horse, but it's backfiring not only because he took donations up to $25,000, sounds like, from Epstein, more than I thought. And on top of that, he's going after Trump on this, but it's really cringy. He literally looks like the most villainous politician ever. He looks like that creepy old guy from Star Wars. So it's cringy. He's like, oh, I'm getting on a high horse here. I'm so innocent here. We're going to expose all these files. It's like, okay, Trump will expose your files, Schumer. He's probably going to come out. Again, these are allegations. I don't know for sure, but it's pretty much assumed by a lot of people that Schumer's in those files somewhere, being that he got donations from Epstein. But moving on from the Epstein thing, I did want to talk about the war in Venezuela because General Flynn recently posted that they know where Maduro is and they might just drop a warning bomb. So in terms of the update on what's going on with the war in Venezuela, they were just focusing on taking out these narco boats out in the waters and then confiscating these oil tankers. But they've now shifted to land strikes. This can mean anything from taking out like a fentanyl drug factory, taking out some terrorists, or this could be anything from taking out a drug factory or some drug terrorists, or even technically damaging or hurting Maduro. Although taking out a president sounds pretty messed up. If he's head of a terrorist organization, technically, if push comes to shove, they're going to take out Maduro. But hopefully they can just do a warning shot, which is what General Flynn was talking about, and get Maduro out. And we just need a new legitimate government in Venezuela running things, because it is a very important country with a lot of resources and oil, and Maduro is hurting a lot of people, running the whole thing to the ground as a terrorist organization. So the government should not function as a terrorist organization. Trump's going to get this fixed. The situation is going to improve, and I'm very excited to see this war end. I did want to get into the comments section briefly here. I have a little bit more time. Deem2995 He heard my rap song in my previous video. He said, awesome job as a rapper. Cassandra Hughes says, I should definitely get it mixed. Thank you. I appreciate the comments on that. Claim to Dancy says, we should invent a teaching game for young business students. Points that trigger golden age and how they work and interrelate. That's what I call a courage, daring to think and plan in an all positive way. I like that. I love the idea of a golden age, a board game. That sounds super fun. Peaceful Heart said, I recently came to your site, Peter. I like what you're doing and spreading the good word regarding the golden age. I want to suggest, however, that the golden age will put the concept of war into the history books. Hope you can see this as a resonance required to anchor the golden age. Thank you for your service. I really like that comment a lot. I do think in the golden age, ideally, all the wars would be stopped, but it might be a situation where we're not seeing all the wars stop for another 15 years. I got a lot of noise in the background, so I gotta end it. I'll do one more comment here. Nia Willie says, what a load of total BS. You sound like you might be a Democrat, and I can't pronounce your name. Was it Nia Willie 7? I understand I'll get some flack from people. Have to end this episode a little bit short because I got noise in the background, but thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. Peace out.